Right, greetings everybody. Thank you all so very much for coming here. I will start the presentation shortly, so if I could have your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thank you. Yeah, as I said, first of all, I want to thank you all very much for coming here today. Some of you are coming over from half across the world, and I really appreciate it's that you put all the effort in to actually be with us here today for this very special moment, not only for us, but also for Jurassic Park. So yeah, I'm very thankful that you all are that you're all here to celebrate this very important milestone in the history of the park together with us. So I will hold the main points here, the speech of me that will come up first, and afterwards we've got our staff bringing over some champagne. We're installing some tables here so that we can celebrate the deal offer once we're done here. So yeah. So basically, yeah, we're not only here to officially open both the aquatic and glacier park. That might be what you have heard in the mail or in the messages. But I'm also here to give a small summary of the quite outstanding achievements of our staff that we've made in the past year. Additionally, there will be some new projects that will happen over the course of the next couple of years, and I will publicly reveal these plans for the first time here as well. So especially for our investors and the financial district, the financial department, of the InGen board, will be quite interested in those things. These plans haven't left the walls of the development of Jurassic Park yet. So this is the first time public on TV that we are sharing, that I'm also sharing this for the TV interviews that will coming up next. But that's all matters for me. That's nothing for you to worry about. So first I shall start with a summary of last year's events, leading up to the moment where we are right now. The reason being that a lot of the investors and other people that got heavily involved with the continuation of Jurassic Park, that also, of course, make up a significant portion of the people that are here right now, weren't around before the moments that we are here. So a lot of people jumped in this year. We experienced an exponentially great growth this year. And a lot of you don't really know about the history of what happened before here. So that's the reason why this section is in here. Also for the press that's going to arrive later on, I will hold sort of the same story so that we can have some nice publicity for the news. Because this very important event, of course, has to go. The entire world has to know about this. Okay, so I forgot my lines. Oh no, never mind. Here we go. All right. Most of the people that are here right now. I haven't heard of the words Jurassic Park back then in years, or never thought about it anymore after the issue. Because just to refresh all your memories, at this exact point 1 year ago, this island was completely abandoned by humans. Nature had taken over everything of the island. Almost everything was destroyed, or as I said, nature had taken over. Dinosaurs roamed the island free and were a threat to anyone that was unfortunate enough to meet them here on the island. They still are, by the way, so I don't recommend walking into a paddock at any time, just to make that clear. Anyway. It required a very costly military expedition in order to retake the park and recapture the dinosaurs. Although there weren't many dinosaurs left when we arrived. When we arrived, we made sure the entire perimeter was secure. It was very... I was there. I felt complied that as the... managed the overall boss of the entire park, I felt that I was obliged to be with the missions on the guys in the front line. So I joined the military expedition right from the beginning. We made secure over the perimeter, but we didn't discover many dinosaurs back there. When we arrived, the only dinosaurs that we saw were the two T-Rexes, who had solidified the position at the top of the food chain very significantly to the point where they were basically the only dinosaurs that were left on the island. Basically, they had driven all the other dinosaurs in extinction, of course, because we inserted the birth control in the dinosaurs to make sure that there was no unauthorized breeding. Of course, the herbivores that were killed by the carnivores weren't able to reproduce themselves. Basically, it left only our 2 T-Rexes, of course, as the top of the food chain, to be left on the island alone. There were some other dinosaurs and creatures that made it, but mostly our 2 T-Rexes were the ones. So those are still the 2 T-Rexes that we have right now. So they have met a very, very long history. Yeah. So with the security team inbound, we secured the dinosaurs, power back on, and security forces installed. The park was back under our control. A couple months later, cleaning and repairing jobs were done, and we were ready to receive visitors once again. This was not that long ago, actually, from here. It was last autumn, last year. So a bit later. Obviously, with the digital security measures in place, everything that went wrong last time was fixed to prevent it from going wrong this time, and everything was made sure that everything was cool. However, there was one quite big problem, which was that we only had 2 dinosaurs. Troy and Tracy, you might know their names, are male and female T-Rexes that you can still admire in T-Rex Kingdom right now. I recommend you do that, by the way. It is extremely interesting to be next to those ginormous creatures. They were the only dinosaurs here on the park, and of course there are not that many people that are just going to come here for only 2 dinosaurs. But many of you would say, no problem, you would say, right? Because we've made them before. Why the hell couldn't we do that again? Well, of course that statement is very true. We have made dinosaurs, even though it is of course a lot more difficult than we are making some dinosaurs. There's an entire process that goes beforehand. Of course, everything is classified for obvious reasons. And yeah, we've done it many times before. We've added I don't know how many dinosaur species. And why the hell couldn't we do that again? Of course, you might ask. So yeah, it's true. We did it before. Why can't we do it again? It's not much of a problem because we've done it before. But the problem was something else. It's not like we didn't know what we had to do. The problem was we didn't have anything to do it with. I'm not talking about the fossils or the DNA to be extracted from those because the DNA was already lost. But of course we have our ways of getting the DNA back. The problem was money. InGen, our main our backer, financial backer, and of course owner of the entire trademark of Jurassic Park and everything that goes on this island, did send that expedition force to capture the islands, but without the income of Jurassic Park for even a bit more than a year. The money paid for the repairs and the expedition and of course the staff made sure that InGen was almost on the brink of going bankrupt by the time we took full control of the island. The entire island was fixed, everything was nice and tidy, there was security everywhere, there was no way any of the dinosaurs could escape, but InGen had no money. And of course, I will not go into detail on how to create dinosaurs because I said that is classified information, but I guess you can all understand that creating dinosaurs is very time consuming. It takes a lot of resources and thereby also costs a hell of a lot of money, and that is just to make like one measly Compsognathus. So, but with our most important financial backer almost bankrupt, it almost looked like we weren't going to open our gates ever again. And while that's happening, it is not a good idea to... And of course, right now, we are extremely pleased, and I am very pleased that I am allowed to say that we have a lot of investors and financial backers that have invested a whole lot of extra money into the development of the park, and also have seen a lot of profits from those investments, both for them and for us. people linking their names to the park, people opening shops in the park, people helping us with various things in the park. But of course, right when we started up the park for the second time, that was entirely different, because I am not that much of a good businessman. Of course, I have a lot of more in. I've got a lot of knowledge about creating and managing a park full of dinosaurs. Of course, I do not really have a lot of knowledge about the financial stuff. I've got people to do that for me. But even I can understand that finding external investors was a no-go at that point, because even I can understand that no one wants to invest in a project that went extremely horribly wrong less than a year ago, and hasn't made any way or headway to show that it is going to be safe this time. Even I can understand that it's not a very good way to invest. So we were really stuck there. We had no money from InGen, we couldn't ask anyone else to back us up financially, and we couldn't create any more dinosaurs. So yeah, we were facing a very big problem, because with the big financial problem of InGen, we couldn't start at the park, and without starting at the park, InGen would certainly go bankrupt and would not earn any money, and that would mean that both InGen and Jurassic Park as a whole would collapse completely. So we had to start up the park via another way. As I said, external investors wasn't an option. No one, of course, wanted to back us up financially. Well, they could have, but of course we were asking pretty significant amounts of money in order to create the dinosaurs, and that was a very big risk, basically, for the investors, that where the payoff was unknown. No one knew whether it would fail. Of course, we were certain that it would succeed, but as an investor, you are not going to just believe us on our words, because you just saw last year that it can also go horribly, horribly wrong. But luckily, as you'll see, we are sitting here and the park is flourishing, and of course something happened. Well, luckily, a way to save the park was presented itself through another project from InGen. At the height of the park, before the outbreak, another island was populated with dinosaurs by InGen. This wasn't another Jurassic Park, like a second Jurassic Park or anything. This was not used for entertainment at all. This was pure for scientific purposes. This island, codenamed Site B, was completely revamped to show the continents of the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods of the dinosaurs. The island was filled with the dinosaurs were created in our laboratories. The embryos were created in our laboratories here on this island, on the park. They were shipped to Site B, where they would hatch, and they would, instead of living in cages, would live in a huge wild reserve, fenced off, basically with herbivores and carnivores next to each other. It was used by our scientists to study dinosaur behavior and how dinosaurs would react on certain items and situations. And the knowledge from those test results we would use in our park to make sure that we had better security protocols to prevent dinosaur outbreaks from the inside, of course, because the outbreak that happened last year was an outside job. Someone from the outside sabotaged and caused a island-wide outbreak, which is something we weren't really thinking that was possible. But of course, we have very much learned from that lesson. But so we have an entire island full of dinosaurs. It was just, as I said, it was more herbivores, carnivores. It's just like you actually were in. It's actually almost as if you time traveled a couple million years ago. That was on another island just not that long ago. Not that far away from here either. So, that could create an opportunity for us, of course, because it was only used by our scientists, and of course also some paleontologists that wanted to learn about dinosaurs. But yeah, an entire island with a prehistoric habitat with prehistoric creatures like that we created, just sitting somewhere else. Well, the first idea was that we could just transfer the park to there, turn that into a theme park, earn enough money, and then move them over. or maybe make it there permanently, but the cost for that would also be too high for InGen. And of course, we also invested a lot of money in fixing up this park, but where we are right now. This park was completely clean and ready. Stuff was running around everywhere. This was completely ready for receiving dinosaurs, but the problem was that we couldn't get the dinosaurs. So, of course, changing the other island into another Jurassic Park would be like a financial death for InGen. So, what we thought of instead was using the military personnel that we have from the park to capture the dinosaurs from Side B and move them to the park on this island. Because we had the staff anyway, but yeah, they actually were paid for nothing because there were no dinosaurs for them to guard. So we trained them up, especially by the DCF, our Dinosaur Containment Force, our most elite line of defense, expert in recontaining escaped dinosaurs and advanced security measures. And also our, after the outbreak, our anti-terrorist force to prevent anything happening. Together with them, we trained up our guards and we set up an expeditionary force all on our own. And we set off to Side B. With this ambitious mission in mind, we set off. And it was a lot of hard, bitter, and especially dangerous work. We had to get our bearings. This entire area was just like, there were no security measures anywhere. Those were just huge areas of forests and open plains which were fenced off by huge walls. And we had to make sure that we could save ourselves because there was no one who would save us if something would have happened. But as you can all see, we managed to make it done. We got dinosaurs back to the park. We promoted the park again. We got testers over here to see the park again. They would specifically look on security measures. When they gave positive reviews, visitors came in, and the park was officially like really open again. The new dinosaurs, of course, and the good reviews from the curators increased our amount of visitors, which of course increased our income. Then, with all the success, we asked you guys, the investors, in. Of course, business was flourishing at this point. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was a lot easier and a lot more profitable. And there was a lot less risk of investing in this park. And of course, a lot of you, and all of you that are sitting here, have decided to do that. And I think I speak for all of you with very much of success. So the investors came in. He helped us with investing extra money. Thereby, we expanded the park even more, which increased the amount of dinosaurs again, which increased the amount of visitors again, which increased the amount of income again, and etc., etc., etc. And that is when we are now. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are at the beginning of a new era of Jurassic Park. We have overcome our greatest tragedy with such a triumph that we are experiencing the biggest growth in the history of the park, bigger than any other theme park in the entire world. With the additions of the new buildings like the Bug House and recreational areas like the Jurassic Lake, and of course a newly recreated glacier and aquatic park, Jurassic Park is now bigger and more popular than ever. There is no single sign that InGen is about to go bankrupt. Our financial situation is immense. It is just immense, and in a good way, of course. Visitors leave the park with such an amazing feeling. The new attractions, the transportation systems, and of course the new aquatic and glacier park, which are a lot more visitor and dinosaur and aquatic and prehistoric animal friendly. Both for visitors and prehistoric animals have a better way now with the new glacier park and the new aquatic park. Hopefully, we haven't officially opened the aquatic park just yet, but our testers gave some very good results. It is more friendly to the visitors, it's more friendly to the prehistoric animals, and that also makes it more interesting for the visitors because they do not like to see very sad dinosaurs cramped up in a tiny cage like our previous glacier park. No. Business is flourishing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are standing at the beginning of a new era of Jurassic Park. These expansions look immense. There are huge chunks of lands that are being developed as we speak, but this is just the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you the new plans for the park. First thing, the aquatic park will have another additional building. The aquatic park will be officially opened here, right now, today, after I'm done with this. But there will be one extra building added to the aquatic park. It will be an amphibian house. A lot of the creatures started as amphibians. Almost everything started from amphibians form when the fishes emerged from the water and started to walk on land. And this building that we're going to construct here, it's going to become going to be constructed behind the shark house. So behind where I'm standing right now. It is going to be an ode, basically, to all the amphibians in the park, in history. I mean, excuse me. The most important ones that contributed to both our and the dinosaurs' evolution will be present. Present here, and also we were thinking of showing the timeline of development from fish to actual land creature of amphibian. On the old location of the Glacier Park is also, you might have seen already, we've started some construction just as a startup sequence. It's going to be one of the first huge projects that we're going to start with once we get these projects underway in the next couple of years. All these projects, by the way, are for the next couple of years. I'm not sure when they will start. Exactly, but I am sure that we will start with them in this order. The first one, the first is of course finishing the aquatic park with the amphibian house. The second will be the building whose foundations you can already see on the location of the old glacier park. This is going to be the innovation center. Basically, a lot of people are asking our staff all the time, how do we make the dinosaurs? Of course, we can't say how we do it specifically. But we can of course give some hints away, and a lot of commonly asked questions. Of course, we do very much love to give you the answers, but we thought that it would be good to have one location inside the park where you could find basically, which is like your center for all the answers. The Troodon Information Center was like a concept idea of the thing that is currently a show of the evolution of the dinosaurs through the periods. The Innovation Center is going to be something different. The Innovation Center is going to be comprised of it's going to be basically a huge pyramid-like tower. The designers have to come up with a specific idea yet. But the basic concept is that it has 3 different layers in that tower. The first layer, the bottom layer where you enter, has information about some of the dinosaurs. It has skeletons in there of various dinosaurs, and I'm not talking about just random dinosaurs like a Triceratops. I'm not talking about a T-Rex. We will give you in the bottom layer of the Innovation Center the story of the dinosaurs of our park. There will be a skeleton of Tracy, our female T-Rex, and we shall tell there what has happened in her life and why her skeleton looks like that, why T-Rexes like her were so efficient during the late Cretaceous. We will talk about Triceratops like Theo, our alpha male Triceratops, why he has that scar on his crest, how did that happen, and about general Triceratops behavior as well. These will answer, because the reason why we are specifically going for dinosaurs of our park is because we really want to immerse the visitors in what's going on in the park. We're not just showing them a T-Rex. No, we're showing them our T-Rex. This is our T-Rex. Tracy is basically in our hearts. I am training them. I'm the T-Rex trainer. I spend most of the time with them, with the exception of the feeders, of course. But everyone in the park just knows that she's called Tracy. Everyone knows that. Just as everyone knows that the alpha male Triceratops is called Theo. And that our Spinosaurus is called Scar. Everybody just knows that. And we are all like a huge family, and we want to give all that feeling. We want to kind of like give that feeling to the visitors as well. That's what the first layer of that innovation center is. We're not showing them information about random dinosaurs. We're showing them information about our dinosaurs, how we know when they are angry, how we know that they are sad, how we know that they are hungry, how we know that they are that they actually like us, that they like our company. So a very personalized way that we're doing this. We're not giving like information about dinosaurs in general. That's what the Troll Information Center and the Mr. DNA Dino School are for. They give general information about dinosaurs as a whole, but the Innovation Center will give information about specifically Troy, specifically Tracy, specifically Scar, specifically Theo. You know, it is really going to immerse the visitors in the park, in like actually complying with the dinosaurs. Actually feel like they know them too, you know? That's the first layer of the innovation. The second layer above there will be an area which is explaining the system of how to create the dinosaurs. We are showing the process of from fossil to laboratory to DNA testing to creation to egg to dinosaur to and then back to the beginning. It's going to be we plan this as a circle. So we start with fossil and then it works our way up to being dug up, brought to the laboratory, etc., etc., and it ends with the dinosaur dying, and then the dinosaur dying will go back in the ground, turn to a new fossil, and then we can use it again, basically, so that you can basically make the cycle round again. And then the final layer above there, of course, additionally has some nice viewpoints because it will be way up high in the innovation center, so you can have a nice look over the park. But it will be an extra laboratory. We got the laboratory in the visitor center. We are still going to use the laboratory in the visitor center, but it is basically getting a bit cramped. There are so many new technologies developing on the side, on the dinosaur creation front. Our innovation team is constantly busy on developing new and newer and safer ways of creating these dinosaurs and manipulating the DNA and preventing errors in the DNA, making the dinosaurs' lifespan longer, preventing the dinosaurs from getting diseases, making the dinosaurs more pure to prevent them from genetic diseases and stuff like that. Also, because the problem is when you clone dinosaurs, then genetic diseases can happen very easily. Just like why it is, just like when incest is not good for a species because it doesn't add new genes into the pool. Same thing goes for when you clone dinosaurs all the time. You get the same genes everywhere, and that is very catastrophic for the dinosaurs. Could be potentially, but of course our innovations are focusing on preventing that. But yeah, we don't really have the room in the visitor center anymore for all these new technologies, for all these new machines that we have to test things out. We do not have the capacity in the visitor center anymore. We will still use the laboratory in the visitor center, but purely and only for creating the dinosaurs, managing the DNA, managing the embryos, cultivating them into eggs, all that stuff. All the other research stuff that we're also doing in the same laboratory at the time, right now, we'll move to the innovation center, and then we'll be also with glass windows so that people can see what's going on. This is one of the big projects. I'm having a queue that I have to run this up very quickly, so I'm sorry, but I always keep rambling on some stuff. So I will try to go through this a bit quicker. All right, so that is one of the first projects that we're going to start off with. The big projects. The second big project that we're going to start with after the Innovation Center is completed is an expansion of Carno Avenue. A lot of the investors that are sitting here right now haven't invested any money yet. They are here to see the plans, and this is especially the part where you should pay attention, because we have got offers and investors who want their brand on our park. Of course, the best way to have your shop, your restaurant, your whatever is of course at Carno Avenue, which is our visitor-only area, full of shops, restaurants, clothing stores. Everything is there. We only have small businesses there, most of which are of Jurassic Park itself. But recently we've given the offers of major brands to join, to invest in the park, and of course have their stores opened in the park. When I say big brands, I'm talking about Burger King, McDonald's, Starbucks, Jack and Jones, kind of those. That's what I'm talking about. Huge cleaning, huge clothing businesses that want their clothes in the shelves on our park. Huge clothing distributors that want me to have their shop there. Or huge restaurant chains, all those kind of things. All want a spot in Jurassic Park. And that is where, but of course, the Carno Avenue, we're not going to destroy all the shops that are already there. So we have come up with this, an entirely new street coming along with Carno Avenue, which will, of course, house all the new buildings of the new major brands. And at the end will be the Pangaea shopping mall, a huge shopping area, a mall, of course, where a lot of the investors can have their businesses in. Just to give answer to the request of more land for all these huge brands to have their stores open at the park. That is the second huge expansion, and the third huge expansion will be at the south of the island. We are developing right now, getting a lot of new data, which means a lot of new dinosaur species. Not even only dinosaurs, we're also researching prehistoric reptiles and whatnot. So there are a lot of new dinosaur and prehistoric creatures that are coming our way. We have currently a huge area outside on the south side of the park, which is completely empty with empty paddocks. That is going to entirely change after those first two phases are done. We are going to get new dinosaur species. We also have a plan for a final, well not final, but at least an extra huge luxurious hotel, possibly also a very big brand hotel. And an extra next to it will be a huge wellness resort and spa where you can just have a relaxed day off. It'll be a pretty big complex because we want to design it in such a way that you can even spend your entire day in the wellness resort. There will be pools, things for massages, saunas, all along those lines. And you can spend an entire day in the wellness resort and not have to worry about watching dinosaurs for a day. That's also the reason why we had created the amusement park in the originally, so you can also spend an entire day at the amusement park without having to worry about the dinosaurs. If you want to spend, because most of the visitors, like a visitor spends around average, and the average visitor spends 4.5 days on Jurassic Park, on average, of course. Sometimes more, but sometimes longer. Sometimes less, sometimes longer. And especially for the people that stay longer, which are a lot of, there are a lot of them, if they spend more than a week, they can kind of like, well, not really bored with watching dinosaurs, but they kind of want some variation. That's why we offer them things like Carno Avenue, where you can have an entire day where you can shop and do whatever. We offer Jurassic Lake, of course, where you can have a nice day at the beach without having to watch dinosaurs at all. The amusement park, of course, and the wellness resort is going to be another one of those, where you can spend the entire day without a dinosaur around you at all. And as I said, there's next there is going to be a huge hotel, a huge luxurious hotel, possibly a branded hotel. I'm not sure though. We haven't made the deals yet. But that is the final huge project. There's another project that we've got going on, which is the expansion of the amusement park, but that is still in the concept phase, so I'm not going to tell you very much about that afterwards. And the fourth final expansion is also going to happen in the south side of the park, in the entire empty part right now. We're going to, just like we made the aquatic park and the glacier park, specifically for creatures from the Ice Age and aquatic reptiles, there will be another sort of similar thing there. In the new area over there at the park, we are going to create the Permian Park, which will be fully dedicated It's called Permian Park, by the way. It will be fully dedicated to reptiles, prehistoric reptiles, not dinosaurs. It will be dedicated to not to dinosaurs, but to prehistoric reptiles, like Dimetrodon, Postosuchus, those kinds of prehistoric reptiles, and Dilophosaurus, I believe. Daffodon. I'm not sure. I haven't got the list up of the reptiles that we planned, but just like with Jurassic Park, not all the creatures here are from the Jurassic, but we still call this Jurassic Park. Same thing goes for Permian Park. Not all the reptiles in there are from the Permian era. For example, Postosuchus is from the Triassic. But of course, that's what I said. We are not really bound to those names. So that is the fourth big expansion that is going to happen on the park. Permian Park is the final one, and then we shall see whether we still need to do anything. So I hope I satisfied all of you, especially the people that were. I hope I satisfied the people that had already invested, that they see that their money that they invested is being put to extremely good use. For the people that are here for having their shops at Carno Avenue, I would love to have you guys behind the stage after I'm done here. I'm wrapping this up right now. So if you would follow me behind the stage here, I've got a specific area set up behind here so that we can discuss the business details about having your shop at Carno Avenue, or having your brand at Carno Avenue, more to speak. For the rest, my staff is now going to take care of you. There will be the music will start soon. My staff will give you all the champagne. The champagne should be made. The buffet should also be almost finished. And if you wish to speak to me after this speech right now, after I'm done with the discussions over the Carno Avenue edition, I will be rejoining you in the party as soon as possible. So if you have any questions or anything like that, be sure to ask me anything. That was basically it. So I hope I all satisfied every one of you. I hope you see your money is being put to good use, and also hope that you can see that if your money is not in our park just yet, then you see that there is a lot of potential here, and I hope I convinced you of investing in Jurassic Park. So have a nice evening tonight. Our staff will completely take care of you, and I would love to thank you very much for being part of this extremely incredibly amazing experience. Thank you all so very much.